how do you as a black woman watch another black woman be thrown under the bus based off of a lie?
What happens when an Oscar-winning actress exposes her own peers in Hollywood? Monique thought the powerful black names in the industry like Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey would stand by her against pay discrimination while they preach black empowerment in Hollywood. But she found herself alone and betrayed instead. Subscribe to Elites Exposed for more, and watch Monique speak her heart out like she never could before.
Remember when I said earlier, I've never seen so many cowards and black men in this business? I would have to put my brother Tyler Perry in that. I've never worked with Tyler Perry. And I gotta bring this up, Daddy, because it's a part of it and you understand the devalue of black women. Recently, I saw a quote that my sister Taraji put out there and said, Tyler Perry was the first person to pay me my quote. And that's a black man. Well, he says, I'm the first person to pay Taraji P. Henson the most money she's ever made. And then we said, but did you pay her fairly? And then he said, I paid her more than she's ever made. What does that mean, brother? I said, what I cannot do, Tyler, is work for free. I've done what I was supposed to do. I cannot go overseas and do this for free, Tyler. So then he goes on about his spiel, I said, well, listen, you can write me the check for me to go overseas. I don't care where the money comes from, but I'm not going to do it for free. He says, well, I don't believe in giving money away for free. I said, I don't believe in working for free, so we're on the same page.
And if there's one thing you can take away from that, it's that Hollywood's elite are just one big club and you're not in it. Their virtue signaling on racial empowerment or any social issue is really just false tokenism to wash away their own sins to their own conscience. Do you think black billionaires in the industry like Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey are any different? Do you think they're black first or billionaires first? Because it just so happens that the same film Monique had won an Oscar for, called Precious back in 2009, is the same film these two Hollywood bigwigs had produced. And when the likes of Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry expected her to play the game for them and do a whole international press tour promoting the film for free, she reminded them to pay her fairly for it since it wasn't part of the contract.
We got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now, I said no to some very powerful people. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels. And I said no to Lionsgate. And the difficulty came in when people that look like me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I gotta put my brother Steve on the list. Y'all knew I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Monique, you're not wrong. And when I heard you go on the air and you said, my sister done burnt too many bridges and there's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt I was?
Hollywood does not like you drawing any line in the sand, much less when they throw you crumbs of work and expect you'd start orbiting them for more. Tyler Perry then got word out that Monique was too difficult to work with. And coming from a billionaire producer with a whole network of interconnections, that was a practical death sentence for Monique's career for a decade, even after an illustrious Oscars win. And the more that Monique searched for support among her black peers with actual influence and power to stand by her, the more disappointed she got at what they had become inside that toxic and elitist inner Hollywood club. Now, here's something to understand about how Hollywood productions work. They've got no problem blacklisting you from the industry if it serves them, but they're actually more interested in exploiting you instead. That's where their real money is made. It's the worst at the lowest rungs of the ladder, where a production assistant might barely be making above minimum wage, while the top bracket in the production pockets millions. But as it turns out that after Tyler Perry put a negative word out against Monique in his circle of producers, they had no problem throwing lowball offers at her even after an Oscars win, and maybe even using those lowball offers as a benchmark for younger black actors wanting their foot in the door.
When I say Lee Daniels, when I say Tyler Perry, when I say Oprah Winfrey, I'm unapologetic and I'm unwavering about it. Because when I see this woman, Oprah Winfrey, and she goes and she speaks to the hashtag #MeToo, which is appreciated. But how do you as a black woman watch another black woman be thrown under the bus based off of a lie? So again, the blackball thing, it's very real, but what I won't do is be quiet. I won't go away. I won't back down. I won't say it quietly. I won't write a letter. Sam, I got a big mouth, don't you know it? I'm so glad we're having this open, honest conversation. Of course I should. Because they say once you win that award, that's the biggest award.
That's what they say.
That you can win in this industry. However, after I won that award, the offers were coming in as if I just got off the Greyhound bus. And when I said, guys, I can't accept that, because if I accept it, the little black girl that's not born yet, guess what she gonna walk into? She gonna walk into that too. So it wasn't that the offers wasn't coming, but it was coming in as if I was brand new to Hollywood.
That's why I say once these people reach a certain bracket of wealth and influence, they just burn the stairs behind them rather than helping others come up. And for Monique, perhaps it all became too real when Netflix, of all platforms, offered her a meager $500,000 for a comedy special when it had paid over $11 million to unfunny dimwits like Amy Schumer. And all of that was traceable back to the bad word that Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey had put out about her decades ago. Though here again, no black actor was willing to stand by her when she called for a boycott of Netflix or when she sued the platform for pay discrimination. Watch her vent even to Charlamagne, who she believes hadn't done right by her through all of that by calling her Donkey of the Day during a podcast segment.
A while ago, I had to come out and I spoke in reference to Netflix. That we had to I was asking folks to stand with us as we boycott Netflix for gender bias and color bias.
Correct.
And we were fighting for equality. And then I found out that I had become Donkey of the Day.
Yes.
By Leonard. And I gotta call you by your name, baby, because
Leonard.
Leonard. Okay. Okay, baby. He's getting real special, Leonard. But we're going Leonard.
It is Leonard.
And then I was called Donkey of the Day, and it really caught me off guard. Because when I met this brother some years ago, and I always go back to it because I met him in an elevator at Turner Station. And I met a young man that was full of humility and respect. And when I got on that elevator, he actually held the door. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
And I said, oh, baby, thank you. And he was just like that. Yes, ma'am. And Miss Monique, it's a pleasure to meet you. And we had a very beautiful exchange. And I said to that brother, tell your mama that she raised you right.
That's a
And
fact.
he said it was my mama and my grandmama.
Yes, ma'am.
So I felt like this was, and still is, a beautiful young brother making his way, but full of humility and respect. Till we fast forward, and I become Donkey of the Day. So I didn't want to have it to be hearsay. I didn't want to have anybody exchange words that I may have said to him. So my husband and I wanted to come on so we could understand how I got titled Donkey of the Day.
And you know what? You don't even have to agree with any of what she's standing or fighting for. I'm not the type to care whether some actor makes 500 grand or 5 million. It's about the ugly truth that all of Hollywood's talk around racism, sexism, classism, or pay discrimination is just meant to talk down to the common man and make themselves look good. All while it's an industry that amplifies the worst of your greed and elitism on a grand scale like no other place in the world. But do let me know in the comments what you think, and subscribe to Elites Exposed for more.